450 is not enough.
So what?
What's that?
I wouldn't make you.
Yeah, but you can beat me. You got the radio, man. Peter Cacchioli from New York, New York. 1987 Monte Carlo SS. Purchased it new in December of 1986. Well, yeah, like I said, we ordered it, and it was like August 1986, you know, because they had the 1987 year models then. And it came in December of 86.
So at that time, what else in comparison was out there besides this?
Well, I had almost bought Buick Regal T-Type. I liked the G-body style, and I looked at the Grand Nationals, but at the time I had a black Camaro, and black looks nice when it's clean, but you drive down the road, it gets dusty. So I didn't want a black car, and you could only get the Grand Nationals in black. The Regal T-Type, which was basically a Grand National without the badging.
Okay.
And we actually knew the dealership, and he was talking about the Monte Carlo SSs and everything too, so. It came with silver and black.
Okay.
Which I ordered, yes. I mean, I ordered the whole car. It was funny too, we were trying to keep the price somewhat reasonable, so I have a few compromises in there, like it doesn't have the tilt steering wheel.
Okay.
But, and a couple of other, you know, things that you think are normal nowadays.
So ordering a car back then, did you go to the dealer and talk to somebody?
Yeah, well, we knew the dealer, the guy that owned the dealership. And yeah, we talked to him, and we're, like I said, working out pricing and everything on it. And at the time it was Hindley Chevrolet in Fort Montgomery, New York, which is just outside of West Point. I was slightly annoyed, one thing, you could not buy these with a standard.
It was a 305 V8, right?
High output.
High output.
High output.
What kind of power were we talking then?
It was listed at 180 horsepower.
Okay.
And that's not to the rear wheels though. Chevy does what's called net horsepower, which is basically the engine's on a dyno, but with the full complement of accessories on it and everything like that.
He's moving.
Fun thing about that is now every cop in 3 counties knows I'm out. In the mid-90s, things got kind of tough for me and everything, so it wasn't getting used a lot. And I had also moved back into the city, and in 2001 or so, somebody tried to steal it off the street when I was living in the Bronx. And like I said, I couldn't really do anything with it. It needed a lot of work. I had blown the engine on it. It was still drivable, but fill up with gas, fill up with oil type of scenario. Yeah. So I drove it out to my parents out in New Mexico to store it until I could do something with it.
From New York?
From New York to New Mexico. Every time I got gas, like I said, I had to put oil in it.
Okay.
It was just kind of pouring out. I overheated it real bad, and I know I warped the crap out of the block.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it sat there from, well, the sticker I know on the car was 2003, and I brought it back here in 2015.
So at that time, that's why I love these one-owner cars. Why didn't you sell it?
Yeah, it's weird. I never really set out to hold this car like that. It just ended up that way.
Yeah.
And it got to that point, I couldn't make any money selling it anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I said, it just ended up being that way.
Yeah. It's not like at that time it really meant a lot to you, or?
No, not really. I mean, it was never like, as a matter of fact, I was always slightly annoyed at this call. I called it a Friday afternoon call from GM because it had a lot of, you know, GM in the late 80s was not the best. Yeah, so it was a Friday afternoon car.
It doesn't have a 305 anymore.
No, at that point in time, it had a 350.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And
This is actually the fourth engine, third transmission, fourth rear end. Right now, it's a supercharged 6.2 LS going through a Tremec 5-speed into a Ford 9-inch rear with 373 gears. $700 to the wheels.
what would you say at the crank it would be?
That's hard to say. I mean, it's not going to be much difference because this is a stick.
Okay.
So maybe 750 or so.
750.
I can actually tell you, GM rated this engine when I first got it at 480. But we also know GM's kind of conservative. That was at the crank with a full load.
Okay.
We dropped it in, I took it to the dyno after we dropped it in to get it tuned and everything, and it was 450. So maybe 30 horsepower with the drivetrain loss. Yeah, 450 is not enough.
So what made you decide to do that?
You know, I don't know. It was a lot of fun with the,
Yeah.
just as it was, but just something was calling out to me to supercharge it.
I love it.
I didn't want a turbo because turbo was a plumbing nightmare and everything else.
What would you say, after all these years, is your favorite part about it?
Just that it's fun to drive. I've done that twice now. Did it last year and this year. And actually this year I did it with my boys. We took the vet too.
You and your boys.
Yeah, yeah. That was a lot of fun because last year I didn't get into it as much as I did this year, and I also went home early last year. But we did the whole 5 days, and some of the towns we were going through was great. There'd be people on, I mean, all along the whole route, there's people looking at you because you go from show to show. But you don't just jump on the interstate and go. You go all the back roads and stuff.
Yeah.
Like this year was the 100th anniversary of Route 66, so we spent a lot of time on 66.
That's awesome.
And you roll through these small towns and they got, you know, people that do burnouts. I missed it, but on the second day, there was this one small town, they had a cop directing traffic at a 4-way intersection. He was telling people to do burnouts. Oh man, I was so mad I missed that one. Oh, gotta have T-tops.
Yeah.
It's not right without T-tops. A lot of people really like it, and then of course when they see under the hood, they freak out. My joke is it's not stock.
That's stuff.
Oh, I got people offering to buy it all the time. First of all, I won't talk about how much money is in it nowadays. But, you know, it would take a stupid offer. And I'm talking like $500,000 or something like, that's really what it would take. Something, you know, that stupid, which I know I'm never going to get, so it's safe. But it's funny, yeah. I get the guys at the gas station. Oh, you want to sell it? Yeah, look, you can't afford it. It's not really for sale. Oh man, I got money, dude.
Trust me.
Trust me. It's
not worth it. And this is the last question. I think you've already answered it. It sounds like it. But would you sell it?
No way.
No.
No. Like I said, the amount of money it would take is never going to happen. So yeah, no, it's not for sale.